Thanks to ARKA, I was able to catch up with Cornel Morcov, Chief Commercial Officer at Fan Courier, while at Parcel+Post Expo, to discuss what's the latest development in the parcel locker space. Watch on to find out more. I'm really delighted to be here today with Cornel Morcov, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of Fan Courier, one of the most respected companies in the Romanian market, a long-standing player, and we're going to be talking about lockers today.
A big pleasure for me as well, Marek.
And I should add one thing, that Cornel is responsible for the international development of the company.
This is true.
So, let's talk about your locker experience. What got Fan Courier interested in developing lockers at all?
Lockers in Europe, in Central Eastern Europe and in Romania as well, becomes the game changer into the last mile. Being a game changer, Fan Courier couldn't be in other place than this one. So this is the reason we want to be there where our customer wants us to be.
And how is your sort of impression about, customers accepting lockers in Romania? Because it's a fairly new development.
Indeed. The story with lockers started in 2016, and we are the first company that decided to deploy this kind of solution for the last mile. But in reality, the game has been changed in the moment when the biggest e-commerce player in Romania decided to be in this area. So somehow our main activity at the beginning was to participate into this convincing process for the customer, because this is the most the hardest part of our activity.
And in a way, because the big e-commerce player started educating the customers, it made your job a little bit easier.
Exactly, but easier from the education point of view, but harder from the deployment point of view.
Of course, of course. Tell me one thing, that I'm quite interested in the milestones. What were the steps along the way? Because I guess the first one was that the management needed to decide and understand that you needed lockers. The next was to find a partner. Tell us a little bit about the milestones and how you went through those milestones.
Indeed, we knew that the courier market in Romania couldn't develop anymore without this solution for the last mile. But our decision was not very hard if to invest or not, was when to invest or not, because in fact this business has a huge capex, huge investment, and we need to be sure that at the end the market is really ready to pay for this service.
And of course, Cornel, in your case, you had a very effective to-door operation, which makes it also a little bit difficult.
Yes, this is true. This is true because Romania is still, and we consider that will continue to be for next year, a country where home delivery is the most important. And if you compare Romania with other countries, you can see that the next day delivery ratio from the total number of shipments is one of the highest in Europe, as a standard service, not as a premium service, because the standard in Romania is to deliver in 24 hours, and this is why home delivery is important, and this is why, because the home delivery is important and the quality of the service for next day delivery is very good, it's hard for the consumers to accept to go to a location for picking up the products. What we did different than other countries, we created a network for PUDOs, and somehow those PUDOs helped us to make the deployment of the lockers much more easier than in other countries.
Now I have to say, I'm a fan of mixing PUDOs and lockers, so you're speaking to the right person. But okay, so your management took the decision. Tell me, the next milestone was to choose the partner. Tell us about why you chose ARKA. What's the story there?
from the moment when we decided to invest till the moment when we choose a partner, I think we had 1 year and a half or 2 years. Yeah, because
So was
a very hard process. The first lockers that we bought in Romania were from one of the most famous suppliers, and we are a conservative company and we prefer to continue with the suppliers that we always had success. But in this locker situation, we wanted to have agility first, and we considered to take a solution from a company who has enough resources on the local market, because the main focus is to deploy the locker network in Romania, and this is why our focus was to have somebody who is able to offer us full support on the Romanian market, to be present on the market, to know the market, to know how to deal with. Of course, this process was very hard, but when we saw in fact the analysis between cheap, good, and how can I say, we decided to have something in the middle, not the cheapest. At that moment, we considered that maybe will be not the best, but in reality, at the end, we saw that from the hardware point of view, the solution became one of the best, or maybe the best on the market available at that moment.
And tell me one thing, because for me, hardware is part of the solution. Software is equally important.
Yes.
How are you finding the software?
We decided from the beginning to do not be dependent by the software of the locker system. And from the beginning, our vision was to own the software for the lockers. Honestly speaking, this also was one of the reasons that we decided to go with ARKA, because we had the flexibility to deal with our own software, and this flexibility was very important for us in the moment when we decided to take this decision.
And I always say the secret sauce behind a machine is the software. So I think in that respect, it was a very good decision if you had that capability. Cornel, one last question I would like to ask you, because I think Romania is one of my favorite markets. It's growing very fast. There's a lot of smart people there. If I were to say, where do you think the market will be in 2030? What would be your feelings?
2030 is not so far away, Marek. I think at that moment that the biggest number of the shipments will be out of home delivery. With those lockers, yes, will be a big change, because in Romania right now, I think less than 20-25% are out of home. But in 2030, I think most of the business will be out of home. Home delivery will become a premium service, and we as a supplier and we as a market leader for Romanian market, we need to help the consumers, to educate them to go into this direction, because you see there is a pressure from more parts. There's a pressure first of all from the workforce. We don't find any more people to deliver. There is a pressure from cost point of view. Everybody wants the delivery to be very cheap, and you cannot do cheap with productivity lower than in Europe, how is in Romania, because of COD or because of other extra activities that our drivers should do. And this is why we consider that without workforce, with the pressure on the cost, it's not very hard to predict that the most of deliveries will be out of home.
And of course, returns are just incredible with lockers, or PUDOs for that matter.
Yes. Yes, returns are already a very important story for e-commerce, because without having a very good solution for returns, it's impossible to help anymore the e-commerce to increase. And this is why using PUDOs or lockers it's very convenient for the consumers from the returns point of view.
So here we have it. One of the most experienced players in the market believes in out-of-home, which makes me feel very happy. Looking forward to seeing lots of positive developments from ARKA, from Fan, in the Romanian market. Do keep us posted, and thank you for your time, Cornel.
Thank you, Marek, for the invitation.